So, I want to start off by saying, Barakathon, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole flesh start with the 144,000. So, quick lesson today. I was watching Elder Pastor Rumlad lesson from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And he was just going into, how a lot of people make this truth complicated, but it's not complicated, man. Right? Stumbling block it's plain to the holy, stumbling block to the wicked. Right? But I want to go into, we understand these things, we got these things through the Comforter, man. Right? Because how Shah brought that 100% truth to us, right? And got us out of the way of darkness. He brought that light into us, and he left it for his elect, right? And his elect gonna understand it and be able to return back, right? Because this world try to make their own, their own understanding or their own how can I put their own teachings about it, teachings about everything, right? But we know it's a truth. We know it's a truth to everything, right? That's all we call it, the truth, right? Because this is just the true knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the true knowledge of the Israelites, man, right? And it's for you to return back to it, right? But only the elect gonna be able to understand those things and be able to retain this knowledge, right? Because let's see, this is a precept that when the elder brought out in his lesson, right? First Corinthians 1, starting at verse 21, right? And it says, For after that, in the wisdom of Yahweh, the world by wisdom knew not Yahweh, right? Because they don't know him, right? They don't know his name, right? They don't know none of that, right? It says, it pleased by the fact, when I was reading this, I wanted to read it in NLT. Probably still got it pulled up. If I want to read it in NLT, because I want you to see, man, right? I want you to see what I was going to say, right? You're going to see, we're preaching that believe, let me see, First Corinthians 1, starting at verse 21, right? And read, it says, slacker for that, right? Since Yahweh in his wisdom saw to it that the world would never know him through human wisdom, he has used our foolish preaching to save those who believe, right? Because we the foolish, right? We the ones who, when we out here prophesying the truth, proclaiming the truth, the true name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? We telling these people that they're Israelites, and then we seem foolish, right? Because the world make everything we say seem dumb and foolish because they profess so many lies, right? You saw Edom in the dark kingdom, they profess so many lies, right? So when you bring light, it seems like we're bringing darkness and they already walking in light, but they don't really understand they're walking in darkness, man. They don't understand that, right? So we seem foolish, right? So it says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 20, right? I'm going to start at verse 20. So where does this leave the philosophers, the scholars, and the world's brilliant debaters? Yahweh has made the wisdom of this world look foolish, right? It says, since Yahweh in his wisdom saw to it that the world would never know him through human wisdom, all these scholars, all these schools, all these things that nature, they go to these schools to try to learn the Bible, learn these things, right? It says he has used our foolish preaching to save those who believe, right? Because we seem foolish to the people. We seem like we don't know what we're talking about, right? And it says, it is foolish to the Jew who asks for signs from heaven. So yeah, I was telling, man, you could look at the sky and discern the time whether it's day or night, whether it's going to rain or not, right? But you don't understand the signs they're showing, right? Even going all the way back, man, right? Even going all the way back, man. He said he was sending. He said when Yahweh sent Moses to save the Israelites from Egypt, he said we will get sent back to Egypt again on ships. Who came over here on ships? Right? That's a big sign to show you. That's a sign to show you right there. Right? They lying. African American don't even make sense if Egypt is in Africa, right? And the Israelites were enslaved, and it's a lot of things they show, but these people don't pay attention to it, right? So it says Jews, right? They want the Most High. They want the Most High to open up the heavens and tell them, hey, you're Israelite. No, man, right? It says it is foolish to the Jew who asks for signs of heaven, and it's foolish to the Greeks who seek human wisdom, right? And I want to read it in the NLT, right? Because this is where you gonna see, right, that these like these philosophers, even in these new translations, right? They're not always right, but like you gotta have that spirit of how about to discern and dissect it, right? To have the true understanding of these scriptures, of this knowledge, right? Because right here it says it is foolish to the Greeks who seek human wisdom, right? But right here it says, so when we preach that Hamashiach, Yahushua was crucified, the Jews are offended, right? And the Greeks say it's all, it's like, and the Gentiles say it's all nonsense. Who are those Gentiles? Those Israelites in that foreign state of mind, the Hellenists in the Greek state of mind, and the Roman state of mind. Like how they are today in this the state of mind of Esau, of the Babylon, as Babylonian mindset, man, right? Thinking they African American, think they way, but you got to go all the way back then when they found out the ways of the Greek culture, the Roman culture, right? Being under these captivities, the people be they mind seared with the hot iron. They stuck in these ways, right? It says but to get back to the point of the precept, right? So when we preach that Hamashiach was when we preach that Hamashiach Yahushua was crucified, the Jews are offended and the Gentiles say it's all nonsense. They don't understand it, man. They don't get it, right? They don't understand. They don't understand that he was only crucified for the nation of Israel. They don't got the knowledge to understand it, right? They don't understand that he came back to the lost sheep of Israel. Matthew's I don't want to quote it wrong. Matthew 15 and 24. Yep, right. But he answered and said, I am not sent to the lost sheep of the house, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? He said, but those called by Yahweh to salvation, both Jews and Gentiles, right? Those Israelites in that foreign state of mind who return back, right? Because you got the Jews, right, and Gentiles, right? He says, Mashiach is the power of Yahweh and the wisdom of Yahweh, right? So Yahweh sent Yahweh down here with the 100% truth, right? That's why when Yahweh left, what he said in John 14, right? I'll pray to the Father, he leave another comforter for you, right? John 14, verse 16, right? It says, I will pray to the Father, and the Father said, give you another comforter. Because when he was here, he was a comforter. He was letting us know, teaching us these things, showing us these things, right? That's why he said, follow me. Or after me. That's why he said, then who sees the Father, right? What was I reading earlier? When I was meditating in Matthew's, right? That's why it says, let me see. Right, Matthew 11:27, right? It says, all things delivered unto me of my Father, and no man know the Son but the Father, neither nor any man the Father, save the Son, and he to whom whoever the Son will reveal him, right? To whoever the Son will reveal him, right? Yahushua giving us this knowledge, leaving that the spirit of Yahushua coming upon us, allow us to understand each scripture, allow us to understand, this truth, being able to break it down and understand, being able to understand that the Gentiles are the Israelites in the foreign state of mind, right? So to keep going on, right? And it says, but to those called by Yahweh to salvation, both Jews and Gentiles, Mashiach is the power of Yahweh and the wisdom of Yahweh. This foolish plan of Yahweh is wiser than the wisest human plan, right? And Yahweh's weakness, and who's the foolish? The foolish is who? The elect, the ones who know this truth. We're the foolish because we've seen foolish teaching this truth, right? We've seen foolish teaching these things, right? It says, Yahweh's weakness is stronger than the greatest human strength. Remember, dear brothers and sisters, that few of you were wise in the world's eyes or powerful, wealthy when Yahweh called you, right? What you got to see? I'm gonna read this one in NLT because this one, Elder Pastor Rumline started breaking it down, right? And he was going into it, he was making a good point on it, right? He said, for you see your calling, brother, right? Because Paul really the only one. Elder Pastor Rumline was talking about, how Paul was really the only one who had education, right? But most men who are called in this thing, they know that they common man. They known as they're called common man, right? common man. You know, he go to work. He ain't really go to college. He don't really seek education right here. They're called common man, right? No, I go to my let me see. Got him right here in my notes, man. No, I take the notes, right? So right, um, right. It says calling when the Lord called them. You know, majority of them are common man, considered to be common man, right? That's the word I was looking for. Considered to be common man, right? You know, they just do what they gotta do, going by every day, right? You know, they don't gotta go no school, no get no education, to know these things, because Yahweh shall lead us through the Spirit to understand these things, right? John 16:13, right? But it says, for ye, I'm reading KJV side on the right hand side, right? It says, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that many wise men, how that not many wise men after the flesh, right? Because you don't, because he ain't too much calling the wise, right? The ones who think they wise and they on the seat, wise in the wisdom of this world, with the wisdom of this world. Because we know the wisdom of this world is foolish to the Most High, right? He not too much calling the wise man, right? He says, after the flesh, not many mighty, not many wealthy, not many rich, not, you know what I'm saying? Not many noble are called, right? So these are common man, right? Because we don't, these schools ain't gonna teach us nothing. This knowledge from this world ain't gonna teach us nothing that the Spirit of Yahweh Shah gonna allow us to understand, right? He said, but Yahweh had chosen, right? And I go back to my notes, right? That said that more, right? You know, the only one who had an education, like I was saying, was Apostle Paul, right? He was called Saul before he became an apostle, right? Not many wise men are called to this thing. Not many rich men are called into this thing. Not many mighty men are called to this thing, man. You know, it considered common men who call in this truth, right? But he said, but Yahweh had chosen the foolish, right? Once again, who was that foolish? The foolish are the elect, the ones who are here teaching and you know, prophesying and giving warning out to our nation and prophesying against Esau, you know, who out here speaking the truth, right? Because we seen foolish teaching this knowledge, right? He says, chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And Yahweh had chosen the weak things, because we consider weak, man. We consider weak ones. We, you know, Esau got that power down here. We consider weak right here, right? You know, right? And it says, things of the world to confound things which are mighty, right? Everybody can say, why you feel like y'all consider weak? I got money, I got this and that. Man, we in captivity down here, man. We in captivity. We telling you about how we gonna get in our own kingdom, get in our own place. We in captivity down here, right? No, Yahweh Shah put them in rulership down here, man. Right? He gave them this kingdom, right? That's why you know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah, we strong. We might. That's why I said we not battling carnal things, because we don't care nothing about this kingdom. We can be seen weak now. We don't care about nothing about this kingdom. They can have this kingdom, right? We got the spirit of Yahweh Shah to understand that when we get to our kingdom, we gonna have it all, spiritual powers and everything. That's why we're seen weak down here, right? But as you can see, right, as the verse said, 25 says, because the foolish of Yahweh is wiser than men, and the weakness of Yahweh is stronger than men, right? We the ones who seem weak, right? They in the flesh. They take out the fleshly things, right? But to keep reading on, right? Verse 28, it says, and base things of the world and things which are despised hath Yahweh chosen. Because with despise, they hate us, right? Oh, y'all saying white people gonna be enslaved. Y'all saying people gonna be destroyed. Y'all not come back for everybody. They hate us, right? And it says, hath Yahweh chosen. Yeah, the things which are not to bring to naught things are, that no flesh should glory in his presence, right? You know, so I want to go to another quick precept, Wisdom of Solomon, right? Chapter 2, and I start at verse 11, right? It says, let our strength of the law be, let our strength be the law of justice, that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth, right? Because, you know, I got it right here in my notes, man, right? You know, we got to understand this ain't our kingdom, man. You know, we're gonna get, you know, we scribing the law best that we can, right? Because, hey, Esau can make the law however they want down here. But we know experience, how about Shah bring the judgment? He gonna bring that judgment on Esau. Right? That's why I said let our strength be the law of justice, man. Right? We scribing through the law. We pushing. Not saying we gotta you'll be able to keep the law 100%. No, right? We gonna subscribe to the law as much as we can, right? Because we know the law is perfect, right? And we know that it was law set, right? It's commandment set, right? and Esau, and we was the only ones giving this thing, but Esau went overboard with the things that they're doing, right? So we know that Yahweh Shah gonna bring judgment upon them, man. He said, for that which is feeble is found nothing to be worth, right? He said, therefore, let us lie and wait for the righteous. Who was that, right? Romans 8 verse 19, right? The rough paraphrasing, the creature manifestation, lie and wait for righteousness, roughly paraphrasing, right? Matter of fact, let's just go to it real fast. Romans 8:19, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons. Hold on, slack right quick. Slack, excuse me for that. Mom had came back through the door. But right, get back to it, right? It says Romans 8:19, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of power, right? Hold on, slack, excuse me, she called my name. All right. Sorry for that, but all right, now get back to it. We'll no more in the rush, right? So Romans 8, verse 19 again, right, says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of power, right? Because why? We lie and wait for righteousness, man. We waiting on Yahweh Shah to come, because we know Yahweh Shah gonna bring that righteousness, right? We're gonna rule this kingdom in righteousness, man. I want to say 1 Peter 1:13, I want to say. It might be 2 Peter. Bear with me, 2 Peter. Hold up. Bear with me. So I could bear with me. Might be 2 Peter. First, I just go to 1 Peter 4. Yeah, it might be 2 Peter 3. Thought it about all right. So 2 Peter 3:13, right, said, nevertheless, we according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. So we know when Yahweh shall come back, right? We're gonna bring righteousness to the earth. We're gonna get rid of all this wickedness, man. Get rid of sin. We're gonna throw Esau and the other nations in slavery, right? Once Esau time up in slavery, we're gonna tie their ass up and burn them all up, do away with them, right? But Romans 8:19, right, says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of power, right? Because we know Yahweh Shah. We know Yahweh Shah. And God just mean power, right? That's why you got Chris is ignorantly called God, Yahweh God would not know his name, right? Yahweh, right, is the Almighty, right? Is the Almighty Father, right? And his name is Yahweh, Bahashim, and the name of the Son, Yahweh Shah, right? Who's the Lord and Savior, right? So it says, for the earnest expectation of the creature, waited for the manifestation of the sons of power, right? Because then Yahweh Shah say, John 10:34, that ye are, did I not say ye are gods, or paraphrasing, right? So he said, he let us know that we are gods, right? Also in Psalms 82, right? Let us know that we are gods, right? And we're going to get back into our godlike standpoint. We'll get back into our power-like standpoint when we get into the kingdom, right? We're waiting on the manifestation of Yahweh Shah to come back and bring righteousness to the earth, man, right? Because the first time he came, he brought the message and the warning, right? To return back, to return back, right? Or you're going to be destroyed with this place. Now he coming with that judgment, that destruction, right? Let us lie in wait, right? Going back to it, turn to verse 11 again, right? Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore, let us lie in wait for righteous, because he is not for our turn. Esau is not for our turn. They don't got nothing for us, and we don't want nothing from them, right? He says he is clean contrary to our doing. We the total opposite of them, man. They do everything against the law, right? He said he upbraided us with our offending the law. What they do, man? They offend the law, right? They offend the law in all ways, man. Even with destroying the earth, all things, they offend the law always. Objective to our infamy, the transgression of our education. They make you think that you got to go to these schools, you got to go to college, you got to go to these things to be seen wise and know these scriptures, to understand these scriptures, to understand the knowledge of Yahweh Shah. They think they know it, right? These philosophers, these scholars, they think they know everything. They think they know it, right? He said he professes to have the knowledge of Yahweh and call himself the child of the Lord, right? They think they got knowledge, man. They think they know it all, right? But they don't, right? Because they ain't got the spirit of Yahweh Shah, right? Because going back to Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 2, right? It says, right? Let's see. We'll start with verse 6, right? It says, "Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, or the prince of this world that came to naught. But we speak the wisdom of Yahweh in the mystery, even the hidden wisdom which Yahweh ordained before the world unto our glory," man. Right? Mysterion, right? It's put away. It's only ordained for us to know, right? It's only ordained for us to know, right? Yahweh ordained before the world, so our glory, those predestinated ones, right? He said the truth. His elect been chosen, his prophets been chosen, and these the ones who understand these things, the ones who prophesy and teaching the true knowledge of Yahweh Shah, right? They ain't gotta go no schools. We don't gotta go there. This knowledge come through us through the spirit of Yahweh Shah. We understand it through the spirit. That's why when Ezekiel prophesied, in Ezekiel 37, like he prophesied, right? The dry bones, right? Go back to the dry bones. When the dry bones, right? Matter of fact, Ezekiel, because you dead even in the spirit. You dead spiritually, but you dead anyway. You a zombie. You gonna be destroyed, man. You gonna be killed. You walking straight to your destruction, right? Let me see. What part I want to get to? Oh, right here, verse verse 6. I started verse 4, right? And it says, "Again he said to me, prophesy to these bones, these dry bones," right? And this valley is talking about America, man. It's lowland, it's this low place, right? It says, and in the dry bones are these Israelites who are in these foreign state of mind. They don't got the knowledge. They don't got the knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Shah, right? He said again. He said to me, prophesy. It's like he said again. He said to me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. This said the Lord, power unto these bones. Behold, it says the Lord Yahweh unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, ye shall live. I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live. Ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, a shaking, and bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews of the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. He said to me unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, this saith the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe breath upon these slain that they may live. What is that breath, right? That breath is this knowledge, is understanding the truth, quickening them, quickening their spirit, bringing them like spiritually, right? Because this flesh is nothing, right? They walk around here in the melting pot. What it says, Micah chapter 3, this melting pot, melting pot taking the bones apart, drawing the bones apart with that melting pot. This lifestyle of America, how they confusing the people, these teaching, these lies, all these things, right? They teach wrong because they've been taught wrong, right? All these lies going around the lifestyle of America, right? They don't got the understanding of Yahweh Shah, so these bones been taken apart. But when they prophesy and listen to Yahweh Shah, right, and come to the 100% truth through the spirit of Yahweh Shah, then what? They're able to understand these bones come together. They're at life, right? That's why he said no man can enter into the kingdom unless he be born again of the spirit, man. This is a spiritual thing, right? Because the spirit of Yahweh Shah allows us to understand these things. Even Paul said in Romans chapter 9, right? He says, I say the truth in conscience. I lie. It's like I say the truth in Hamashiach. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, right? His conscience, right? Let's go to that word conscience. Matter of fact, I should go to the. We'll see what this do. Then we'll go to the Blue Letter Bible. An inner feeling or voice view as acting a guide to righteous or wrong of one's behavior, right? An inner feeling, the inward man, right? Let's see. Let's go to the Blue Letter Bible so we can understand that inward man, right? That's why you see the inward man is renewed day by day, right? Romans 9:1. Let's see.
Strong's G 4893. Syneidesis.
Syneidesis, right? The conscience of anything, the soul as distinguished between that's morally good and bad, promptly can do form and shun, the latter commanding one other, the conscience, right? Let's see. The conscience, though, that the inner man, right? Moral conscience, right? Because it's the spirit, right? Because when you in the spirit of Yahweh Shah, what? That's why I said Galatians 5:18, right? That's why I said when you in the spirit, right? When you in the spirit, you're not under the law because your spirit gonna guide you to what's morally right, man. But if you're not in this truth, right, you got these demons on you, man. Most high telling them left hand spirits through you, man. You confused, you going off, right? That's why the Most High use these wicked ones to bring judgment upon each other, man. That's why you got this Jake go kill that Jake. The Most High using him to bring that judgment out, man. It's all according to the will of Yahweh Shah through the spirit of Yahweh Shah. It's a spiritual thing, man. We get this knowledge through the spirit, not from these teachings of this world or other. Let me see. All right. 1 Corinthians 3:19, right? It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolish with Yahweh, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, because the wise think they smarter, man. It most how destroy them in their own shit. But the wisdom of this world is foolish, man. The ways of this world is foolish, right? The wisdom of this world is not the wisdom of Yahweh Shah, right? It's not the 100% truth, man, right? So, what that being said, we can end with this one right here. Quick ending precept, right? John 16:13, right? One of my favorite ones, right? It says, howbeit when he, the spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. Right? It's really how about y'all shall bring you the 100% truth. Not going to no schools, not going to no college, not going to no things like that. We get the 100% truth through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. So that being said, I hope the lesson was edifying, right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shout out to the 12th start with 144,000 Shalom and Salaki for the interruptions things, but Lord willing, the lesson was edifying and you hold through to the end.